Hey all, I am Narix Bell. Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to talk about something a little exciting. It's the main part of the game for getting skill points and your rune attribute points. That's right, we're going to talk about runes. So stick around, let's have a look at it and get you guys underway with those runes. So as I said before, we're going to be looking at runes. So we're going to be looking at how to acquire runes. We're going to be looking at also the requirements to upgrade them. Also what you can socket and what you can't socket. And also how to use those skill points in a very minor fashion, okay? So we're going to switch over in game now and let's have a look at runes. So when we look at our runes here, we do have quite a few different coloured runes available. And as you can see, I've been farming a little bit and getting those runes. Now, the maximum level of runes depends on the type of rune. Some runes will go up to level 7, some runes will only go to level 3, some are also locked to level 1, as in this Transcendent rune for critical hit effect. This can't be upgraded. This is one of the runes that you acquire early on in the game, so don't get disheartened that it can't be upgraded. There are a lot better runes in the game, and you will find that you'll get better bonuses from other runes as well. So every item comes with one rune slot. Okay, so even if we look at my little legs here that aren't epic yet, they come with one. Now, as you upgrade your items, usually at level enhancement effect +4, +8, and if you can get it to +12, that is a high possibility that you will get another runestone socket as you go along. So why do you need these runestone sockets? Really great question, guys. Really great. Like, honestly, without these, you lack everything. Everything about this game overall is kind of focused around your runes. Everything from additional skill points, your effects. Some of them even have some crazy effects. Like I've got one here, the Transcendent Runestone Fire Golem. This summons a fire golem that'll run around doing 100 fire damage at level 2 to nearby enemies for 10 seconds. That's pretty cool. And then I've got another one here that I've actually got socketed. That's a threat decrease, so that's really good if you're a DPS and you don't want to pull threat off the tank for those dungeons, party dungeons. And then of course, I really like this critical hit one because hey, it tells me when I critical hit because I see lightning go out everywhere, and it creates a lightning effect that deals damage as well. So when you combine that with some of the other runes that certainly help you get critical hit effects, you can be pulling a lot larger mobs, for instance, or continuing your chain of pulling as you're grinding along. I'm not going to touch on the grinding today. Separate video for that completely different thing, okay? Hey all, remember, if you're liking what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? Helps me get better and it helps support what I'm doing. I also stream live as well, usually on Monday, Thursday and Saturday nights from 7 PM Australian Eastern Time. So keep an eye out and hit that bell so you know next time I'm going live. Okay, so now we've kind of got a little understanding of some of the different types of effects. Now, I didn't say all the effects because with the game, there is different effects on all the runes, and they start happening after you upgrade your rune to level 3. Now, not all runes are made the same and not as good as others, but don't worry, you can sacrifice those to upgrade your others, or if they are really that terrible, you can just dismantle them. So when we talk about dismantling runes, because we want to upgrade our runes, right? So what we need to do is we need to have our lovely rune powder. how do we get rune powder? Rune powder is acquired from different ways. The first way, of course, is dismantling your old runes that you don't want. I'll get rid of this level 1 purple rune, and I get 2 rune powder from that. As you go up each level, as you dismantle it, you will get more rune powder, but not as much as what you've put in to make it that next level. So keep that in mind. It is a sacrifice to get a little back. It's not worthwhile upgrading your runes to dismantle them to get more rune powder. You're going to lose out a lot. You're better off just getting a whole heap of level 1 runes and going from there. The other place that you get rune powder from is every time that you dismantle a blue item or greater, you will dismantle and get your rune powder as well. So when I don't want this item anymore, so we'll dismantle this now. When we look at this, yes, it's been enhanced because I had to do that for a quest. I get 5 rune powder from dismantling a blue. You get more from a purple, and if, for heavens forbid, you're dismantling a legendary, damn, you spent way too much time in this game, all right? So that's how you require rune powder. Now, you can get really lucky and get rune powder from lower items as well, but it is extremely rare. There is a very low level chance that you will get it. There's also quests for it as well. I forgot to mention that, didn't I? That there is quests that you can get for that. So if you look at your daily quests, guys, you'll find that there is a whole heap of quests that have rune stones. Okay? These are your daily quests. I know if you're really desperate, use your daily quests to get rune stones. But overall, I probably wouldn't. What I would recommend to do if you want to get rune stones, look at your map, find the names, and it will tell you what randomly drops in the area. Now, one of these areas that I'm looking at will have a rune stone that drops. There we go. This is a high level area, but still, it shows my point that it does have the balanced rune stones that are acquirable. If we go to this lower area here, the Dragon Worship rocks, they're demons, you get the protection. You can get all kinds of different rune stones from your grinding. So plan your grinding out, okay? If you're going to go out and you're going to use one of your Blessed Laurel Wraiths, okay? Plan, what do I need to get from it? Is it rune stones? If it is, have a look, see where it drops the best, find something that is extremely close to your level that you can kill quickly, okay? Make the most of your time, get the most amount of rune stones out of there. I think the best I've kind of done in one of those in a 30-minute session is around 10 to 12 rune stones that I've got. So, you know, that's like 24-ish rune powder in half an hour. Not too bad. Now, the other place, of course, that you can get it is on the marketplace. So keep that in mind. If we search this up, this is the most expensive place to get your rune powder, and there is none available at the moment. That is pretty crazy. It usually goes pretty darn quick whenever you find the rune powder. Now, I'm going through all 15 pages. There's none there. Let's register this product and see how much it comes up for. So one of them is worth, on my server currently, maximum price is 1,191 gold per piece. Or 1,098 per item as well. Okay. So, you know, if you wanted to make some money and you had a whole heap of extra rune powder, this might be a way to do it. If you're like the rest of us, almost guaranteed you won't have extra rune powder. Alright, so just work with what you have and enjoy your time in the game. Now, when we look at upgrading runes, it's a very hard thing to work out. Now, everybody is working towards 33 fate points, okay? And there's a lot of question of why we're going for 33 fate points, right? Because it increases all rune skill points by 9. So whether you've got anything in any of these trees, you're gonna get the first 2 trees open for the first 2 skills on all your rune attributes, which is pretty major, really. Like, I've tried to balance it out at the moment and whatnot, and you know, honestly, I'm probably better off, you know, getting rid of one of my greens or something and putting another yellow socket in there. All right. So that is huge when we're talking about skills, okay? The rune attribute skills, okay? Because that gives you the majority of what you want to see in the game. It gives you a lot more basis for everything. Now, when you look at some items as well, before I forget, some items like this low level 20 offhand item that I have, it comes with 6 rune slots. I can't succeed it. It's not worthwhile upgrading. But it can't equip anything higher than a level 3 rune. So it really does, you know, bring you back of what you can. When you get into the epics and even your normal blue items, there's no requirements of what level rune you can put in there. So you can upgrade them as much as you like. How do you upgrade? So simply open up your rune tab. You can right click a rune, that'll go open up to your manage your rune stones, or you click on the little cog on top of any one of your items when it shows, and that'll bring up your manage rune stones. So I'm going to upgrade just this level 1 awakening rune today. Now, biggest tip I can give you right now, biggest tip is don't hit this max button. You're going to waste rune powder. I know it's only 5 powders, but don't do it. As you go through the game more, you will find that you can get critical effects on your upgrades, which gives you 1.5 times the normal effect of the upgrade. So if you get enough of them, you can save 1, 3, 5, 10, 50 powders, okay? Because if I look at this lovely level 5 runestone here, right? That one's a bad example. We'll put this one in. If I hit max here, which 99 is max, that gets me only up to the level 2 mark, okay? I just realized my camera is covering most of that. So the really big thing is, right, and that probably wouldn't be bad to hit max and use 99 rune powder to polish that up. But at the same time, do I really want to risk going all the way to max and use more rune powder than required, right? So we're just going to grab this level 1 again, and we're going to polish him up just a couple of times, one at a time. I know it's a long process, and there we go. We've got a couple of crits. Really not on a level 1 rune. It's I still use 5 runes. Right, 5 rune powders. Okay. Once you get it to the max level, through the polishing, your button down the bottom that says polish now becomes switch to upgrade. So we'll grab another purple. You can use any other runestone of the same level to upgrade your runestone. You do have to sacrifice one to get another. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, when we upgrade this, ta-da! We have a level 2 rune. Now, with that is awesome, because now we get more skill points, we get more rune points, and we get a better effect from it. Okay, so not at level 2, there is no effect. At level 3, that's where they kick in. So if I hover over this one, you know, it gives me acceleration +1. Pretty useless stat overall. But there we go. Skill attribute points +2 at a level 4 runestone or critical hit 2. When you go up to a level 5, that doubles. Okay, so I get critical hit 4, and I've also now got a secondary stat on there of maximum stamina. Now, if we'll polish this up even more, we can see if we hit max here, it's not going to go all the way over to the maximum line, but it increases my critical hit to +6, and it gives me an extra 100 stamina. So I get 4 critical hit and 300 stamina. Okay, which is really cool. All right, now there is also these lovely Transcendent Runestones. Now, Transcendent Runestones usually only acquire from your daily portals, okay, and your weekly portal. There is the special ones that you go into each one there to grab those Runestones. And these can be polished up, and it tells you what they require. And so on this one, it requires a Gale Transcendent Rune Upgrade Stone. What's a Gale Transcendent Rune Upgrade Stone? That's a mouthful and a half. So if we look at these lovely green things down the bottom here, these are your Gale ones. There's also yellow... so there's the Gale, the Earthquake, the Poison, and the Spike. Where do you get these ones so that you can upgrade your Transcendent Runestones? Great question. So if we look at our map here, we come over to our dungeons and we go to the Transcendent dungeon. Now, I am on my lower level character here, okay? So I haven't opened up everything because I've just hit level 40. But we can see that you get from your Transcendent dungeons here in the middle area, and also the advanced Transcendent dungeons. I thought they might drop it, but they do not, by the looks of that. Not as a bonus reward. They may drop them directly, okay? So as you come through, you can acquire these items as bonuses, and you might get extra drops from within it. So the first one you come across is your Gale type. Your second one is your Earthquake. Your third one that you come across is your Poison type. And your fourth one is Spike Tolerance. I don't know what Spike Tolerance is. I haven't made it quite that far. But you do require these to upgrade those Transcendent Runestones. So keep it in mind, guys, okay? In your advanced Transcendent Runestones, you get rewards down the bottom here, which do incorporate all 4 of those stats as well, okay? Now, when you dismantle a Transcendent Runestone, you do have a possibility of getting that type of rune upgrade stone as well. Okay, so there is a couple of different ways that you can do it. When... take a pause. Okay. So that's your Transcendent Runes. Now you've also got your Tolerance Runestones. Tolerance Runestones, really? Why more Runestones? I keep hearing you say. I keep saying the same damn thing, trust me. These are required to run those Transcendent dungeons. Okay, they have special effects that give you immunity to the effects within the dungeon. So this one has a level 2, because it is a level 2 Earthquake Tolerance Runestone. It has a level 2 Earthquake immunity effect. So as you're going through those Transcendent dungeons to get your runestones and your polishing equipment, what happens is that you end up getting that effect so that you don't get affected by the dungeon mechanics as such. As it gets higher and higher level, you will need to have a higher level runestone of that type. So I've got the Earthquake there, and I've also got a Gale when I open up the Gale one, but this is only a level 1 Gale, so I do need to polish that up a lot more and upgrade it so that I do get higher effects from it. So as I mentioned before, you can get your runestones here, and there is also a lot higher level runestones. So if we come across this side here, this is where you acquire in Odin's Sky Isle is the main place that you will get your runestones. So your tolerance runestones, you also get your basic transcendent runestones, okay? You also get the transcendent balance rune upgrade stones. That is another video in itself, guys, so I won't touch on that, but they do drop within here. And then we have our legendary transcendent runestones. Now, these are in a bit, okay, guys? These are the best of the best and whatnot in the game. So, because at a level 1 transcendent rune stone in the epic form, it already gives you 2 stats basically. Okay, the rune that increases support rune points and critical hit points. Okay, so that's right there on the first one. Plus, it deals more damage than its predecessor in that it is a higher rune. It still only gives 1 rune point and 1 skill point. All right. So that's something to keep in mind, and this is where that you get them. Every day you get an hour to come in to these places, whether it's Dragon Garden, Black Mecca, Storm Valley, Northgard Hunting Grounds. I haven't even been there yet because I haven't made it to level 46. Okay, so that's where you get them from your daily ones. On your weekly ones, I'm just having a look here. I don't think there is a specific place, apart from, Chaos Fortress, that will drop most of them by the looks of things, actually. There we go. Wraith Monastery will drop your Transcendent Runestones. Okay, level 44 there. So keep that in mind. And which is Wraith Monastery again. So those are your biggies. Wraith Monastery for your weekly. Once you get to level 44, you can farm that for up to 10 hours a week. It opens only for 1 hour at a time, and there is 6 different times that it opens throughout the day. I think there's 6, and it could be more. I'll have to double check that because that doesn't look right. So that's where you get those items so that you can acquire more rune powder, more rune stones, and everything else along those lines. So the biggie. Okay, let's talk about the big monkey in the room as such. Why do we need to have our rune stones? Okay, so the kicker is that every runestone, even a level 1, will give you 1 rune attribute point towards its color. There is also the white runes that I have none of at the moment, which won't give a rune attribute point, but they will still give you a skill point. Every rune gives you skill points in some way, shape, or form when they're a colored rune. If we look at the Transcendent runes, it still gives me a skill attribute point. So it does go across all. The Gale or the Tolerance runestones do not. Okay. Now, the real big kicker to all of them is that it is where you get the majority of your skill points from. So if I was to take off all my runes at the moment, I would have just the base level of skill points for my class. So I'm level 40, I would have most likely only 40 skill points for everything that I need, which is really crap because I need 49 skill points to use my Frost Bash, which is my favorite attack on this character, okay? And some of them even go higher. We've got Magic Barrier here, which is a 56 skill points. So you'd have to be level 56 just to open up one skill. I have 138 skill points at the moment, which is still low for, well, it's probably average for a level 40, but it's low within the game means. So the way that you keep upgrading those, and you'll notice that when you start, you get your 20 when you're at level 20 as you're going through and whatnot. And then you start acquiring your items and you start putting in the runes into those sockets. And before you know it, you end up with, 60, 80, 100, me 140 almost. And from there, if you look at your recommended presets here, now, recommended presets, use them as you go along until you feel comfortable with what you're knowing and then learn what you're doing. Okay. At level 45, it's saying that I should have 307 skill points as such. Okay. So how do we get to level 45 and have 307 skill points? Well, that's a pretty interesting question. Simply enhance your items. So if I was to go see an enhancer about my Knight's helmet here, which I've already maxed out, unfortunately, I didn't get quite the rolls that I wanted, unfortunately. But as you use your attempted enhancements on that item, as I mentioned earlier, level 4, you'll get another rune slot. Level 8, you'll get another rune slot. And level 12, I think it is, possibly even level 10, you will get another rune slot. Don't hold me to most of this stuff, so keep that in mind. So every time you get another rune slot, that means that you're able to have more skill points. So you want to get the most out of your items. So as you can see on this one, I had some pretty bad luck. On the second attempt here, I failed. On the fourth attempt, I failed, which meant each time that I tried to upgrade that, I lost because I was using the epic enhancement zones. I lost one level. So I went from level 2 to level 1, level 3, level 2, and ended up with 6 in the end, which is really, really kind of crappy. I was hoping for a +8, so I got those 3 rune stones. Overall, with your Knight's equipment, you're trying to get to a +10 enhancement, because that will allow you to succeed or upgrade that to a legendary when you get the items. Okay. Now, the Knight's equipment, I'm not going to say it's the best of the best, because it's really not, but it is great equipment as you're starting off and going along. Now, keep in mind, you don't get rune sockets in your jewelry. There is none in there. They can't be added, and I don't even know where to get a belt from at the second. I haven't even looked, so I can't comment on the belt. But as we go through, we get more runes, and that means more skill points, more attribute points, and we get stronger and stronger, and that's where our DPS and stuff comes from. All right. Now, when we look at the other key things, so you get an item, and like my gloves here, or my boots, and what we're dead focused on is what we're going to do is we're going to just get yellow runes as our first rune socket. Now, your item doesn't always come with the socket that you want in its color. Yeah, you can use a transcendent. As you enhance it, you can hope for luck to try to get it up there to the next color, that when it enhances, it'll give you a plus, at +4, it'll give you that color that you want. Or you're able to change it. Now, there is a guy at most of the towns that will re-roll your equipment. And to re-roll your equipment, for instance, if I wanted to change this red socket to a yellow socket, I would have to have a pair of pants have to be the same matching item. You can't use, a staff or your main weapon on anything else. It has to be main weapon to main weapon and so on. So you got your second pair of pants, it's got the yellow rune slot that you want, and you take it to the reroll expert. When you take it to the reroll expert, he will re-roll that item, usually at about a 75% chance to change it from one color to what you want. As per everything, it's RNG. The higher the level of item, probably the less the RNG is going to work towards our favor. And it also works on what item you're adding onto it as well. So the higher the level, the item you're sacrificing always, the better RNG rolls you will probably have. Guaranteed they've got that mechanic worked in there somewhere. But it's a good idea when you're out farming to keep old equipment. Now I have this one, I've kept it for the moment because it's sharp sense and it's a good item. But if this had a yellow item, I could certainly sacrifice it as my secondary weapon, and that would give me a purple socket on my main item there. It's a great idea. All right, if you're really working towards getting a certain color or you require that color and you don't get it through your enhancement, re-roll it. Okay. So I think we've covered most things today there that I want to cover. Rune powder. Okay, you get your rune powder from dismantling. Hey, I'm Narix Bell. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more great tips and hints. That wraps up today's show. I'll catch you live.